Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to your Spiritual Revolution guidance reading for the month of Virgo. Okay, so Virgo season is from August 22nd until September 22nd. And this month actually is squaring your sign. So anytime there's a square aspect, this is a more challenging aspect. So you could be feeling some additional challenge or pressure this month. But we'll get into it. We'll see what this month really holds for you. And there's a lot going on. So right now we are in the middle of the eclipse, and on August 27th, we have the full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces. And this full moon lunar eclipse it's rounding out this eclipse season, which is all about removing the old, the things that are no longer in alignment in our lives, so we can move forward on our true path. And it's chaotic energy. It can be uncomfortable. It can be exhausting. So if you're feeling all of that, it's part of the process. And but the lunar eclipse is going to help round this out. It's going to bring some clarity around what the next steps are supposed to look like. Although this eclipse is squaring Uranus, and Uranus is the planet of unpredictability, of disruption, of revolution, and individuality. And what that's telling me is the clarity or the messages that we're going to get about what our next steps are meant to be are going to be a little bit unexpected. It's not going to be what we have been planning and preparing for. So watch out for that. And then on September 10th, we have the new moon in Virgo. And new moons are about planting seeds and manifesting what we want for our future. So that, is an important date to keep in mind. And on that new moon, Uranus, this planet of unpredictability, is stationing retrograde. And so as we are manifesting, as we're planting our seeds on this new moon, we need to keep in mind that there has been some unpredictability. There's been some unexpected change in our plans, and to really reflect on that. And are we flowing? Are we allowing that to come in? Are we listening to the universe, or are we going to be stuck in old patterns? Okay. And on September 17th, I want to point this date out as well, because Chiron, the wounded healer, has been retrograding in the sign of Taurus. And on September 17th, it's going to be moving backwards into Aries. So what this is bringing up is our collective wound around our identity, who we are. Are we being honest with ourselves and with the people around us as to what we represent in the world and what our truth really is? And so we're going to be given opportunities to reconnect with that and to really, be true to ourselves and to others. And let's see what this month of Virgo is bringing forward for you, Sagittarius. Okay, so the chakra that you're being called to connect with is your crown, divine consciousness. Divine consciousness, interconnection, expansion, oneness, and light. So really to open up your crown and receive messages from the universe, from the creator, from your higher self, from your spirit team, from your ancestors. My ear is ringing. So definitely there are messages that are coming through for you in this reading, but also I would encourage you to find a spiritual practice, a meditation, or go for a walk in the woods, somewhere where you are free from distractions and your crown is able to open up and really be able to receive, because your spirit teams is trying to connect with you. And this divine consciousness is going to bring you a lot of perspective into where you are and where you're going. And the other overarching message that you have for this month is idealism. So we have the sun in Aquarius. And I just want to point out that Uranus, this planet of unpredictability, rules Aquarius. So that feels important when we're thinking about the messages and the influence that planet has this month for you specifically, Sagittarius. So idealism. So it feels like through your connection to your crown and the divine consciousness, there's also this theme around idealism and what is ideal for you. Are you living your truth? Are you living in your ideal experience, right? Are you connecting with the guidance from the universe and really trusting the path that you're on? Are you like, when I think of this idea of idealism, it's like, have you really been connecting to what you're like, the path that you're meant to be on, your purpose? That's what I'm trying to say. Have you really been connecting with your purpose, or have you just kind of been going through the motions and the day to day and, like not involving a spiritual practice so much, or meditating or asking for answers or doing those things? Have your spiritual practices kind of fallen off? And are you focused on your highest expression and the ideal expression of who you can be, or are you just kind of going through the motions? So that's kind of what's coming through there, and to recognize that by setting ideals and goals for yourself, it's not so much about fantasizing. There's a level of practicality that has to come into it, and to also know, though, that whatever you set out to achieve is absolutely possible as long as you believe. And so let's get some detailed messages here for you, Sagittarius. And if you are here, if you found yourself at this reading, it's because you are aware that there is a spiritual war going on, that humanity is caught between the light and the dark, and you are being called to be a part of the spiritual revolution. And there are some messages for you from your guides. So let's see what is coming through for this month of Virgo for Sagittarius. Okay, so I don't know why my shuffling is kind of all over the place, but let's get these details for you. Okay, here we go. All right, Sagittarius. So the energy that you are coming into this month of Virgo is the Three of Pentacles. So this tells me that you have been thinking about the material world, your finances, your security, your, and everything that you can touch, your possessions, and even, the people around you, and trying to work from a teamwork perspective. Like you're trying not to do everything alone, and share the responsibility among the people that are closest to you, whether this is in your relationship or in your work or in your family. And, like everyone has to contribute, basically, is where you're at, Sagittarius. You're thinking about, okay, what am I responsible for? What are the other people around me responsible for? How can we really work together for the common good, for the good of everyone, so that we're all feeling stable and successful and able to handle the things that are happening in the world and in life? Because there is a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of questions around the stability of the economy and things like that. And it feels like maybe this is all kind of playing in your mind a little bit. And you've really been trying to juggle all these pieces. And this is the energy that you're bringing into Virgo. So perhaps the eclipse is bringing up this kind of energy for you. It's been putting things like highlighting areas where there could be more teamwork. And you've been questioning, like, am I in the right places? Is this the ideal situation for me? Whether it's family, relationship, career, in terms of, being in a place where you're not carrying an unequal amount of responsibility. Okay. And then the energy that you're going to have this month, in the month of Virgo, is the Hanged Man. Okay, so as you've been pondering and considering all these different moving parts, you're now going to be looking at things from a different perspective. So it really does feel like that there is a lot of information, messages that are going to be coming through to you that are making you more perceptive or more aware, more aligned to the truth of what's happening. And you're going to kind of step back a little bit and take yourself out of the situation so it's not so personal to you, and look at it from a different perspective and a higher perspective to see, like, okay, what is really happening here? What is the truth of the situation? How is this person reacting and acting? What is their contribution? What is mine? How should this be? Am I being fair to myself? Am I being fair to these other people? It's really like this observer mode that you're going to be in, to take a look at things from different perspectives, multiple perspectives, higher perspectives, outside perspectives, you name it, and to assess the situations truly for what they are. So this is really a period of reflection. It's a period of new information coming in for you, and really moments for you to assess, okay, is this the ideal situation? What can change? What do I no longer want to carry? And how do I release that? So that's some interesting energy that you're going to be experiencing this month. And then what you're leaving this month with, this month of Virgo, there's two energies here. So the first one is the Five of Pentacles, and then also the Ace of Wands. Okay, and I'm going to read them in that order. That's how they're laying. So the Five of Pentacles is, this is a more challenging energy. So towards the end of Virgo season, you are going to feel a little bit more challenged. And that's kind of what I was saying towards the beginning of this reading, is because this season is squaring your sign. It can bring opportunities and challenges, and it can bring up some shadows. And it feels like through this soul searching that you're going to have, and through this awareness that you're looking at this month, you're going to see things for what they truly are. And it's going to highlight some areas where perhaps you're experiencing some discomfort, where perhaps you are experiencing some, what's the word that I'm looking for? Imbalance between what you are contributing versus what other people are contributing. And this can lead to some uncomfortable feelings around like lack, or, that there's some scarcity in the world. Again, like I'm feeling like, you've been thinking about the economic situation and survival. The winter is coming. And are you as prepared for the winter as you wanted to be? Do you feel like that you can survive? But if there are choices that you need to make, like perhaps to reach your ideal situation, where let's say it's in your relationship, your family, or your career, where you're seeing this imbalance and you're like, in order to balance things out, I need to make some changes, or I need to have some hard conversations and be like, hey, you know what? This is not sustainable for me. Or, something really has to change here in order for me to feel like there is this sense of teamwork, and that there's an equal contribution, or not even equal, but like an equitable contribution, because things don't always have to be equal in order for them to be fair. Okay. And I think that you're going to see that there's some disparity, and that you're kind of on the losing end, or, the perceived losing end on some of these transactions. And I think that you're being shown this for a reason, because you do deserve to have your ideal situation. You do deserve to feel like you are part of a team that has each other's back, that is supporting each other. And if through your observation you find that that's not the case, you're going to have to sit with that and decide, do I bring this up? How do I have this conversation? And I think the other energy that you have, the Ace of Wands, tells you that you do have the conversation, or you do make the change. If you see that there's something that needs to be adjusted in order for you to to feel more in alignment and that you are moving towards, the point that you need to be in your path, then the Ace of Wands is saying, go for it. Have the conversation, make the change, do the things that you need to do. And you will feel like this renewed sense of power, of inner like willpower, where and like this inner flame, like this motivation to find your purpose and to really start living towards your ideal scenario and situation. And knowing that you are also supported, and you are a fire sign. And maybe it feels like you've lost some of your fire, and now it's time to reconnect to that and to find the things that ignite you and light you up and give you motivation. And perhaps, there's something you can do, like a side hustle, or, like I said, it's a conversation that you need to have and to assert yourself a little bit more, because Sagittarius, like, you're worth it. You are so lucky. You are so abundant. You're ruled by Jupiter, this planet of expansion, which, by the way, expansion is one of the words on this card. So it feels like you're really being called to connect to your higher self, because maybe you have, you've lost that connection a little bit. But by the end of this month, it feels like through the reflection that you are going to be experiencing and the messages that you will be given, you will find that connection once again. So that's very exciting. So even though there's going to be some pressure, some challenges, there's a silver lining at the end of this month and a reconnection to your true self and your purpose. And we're going to get a final message here for you. Oh, and I love this. And so your final message is the new moon in Cancer. You and your loved ones are safe. And I think that that's a really important message as you are like reevaluating your teamwork, where you're reevaluating the balance in your life, thinking about the economic situation and this perceived notion of scarcity. Like if you're watching the news, if you're, in these social media holes where everything is doom and gloom and there's wars and there's this happening, all of it is to keep you in a state of fear and a vibration of lack and scarcity, and where, you're kind of feeding the powers that be with this negative emotion. But what you really need to know is that you and your loved ones are safe. You are protected. You have, like I said, you're ruled by Jupiter. This is the planet of expansion and abundance. You can manifest, you create your destiny, and you create your safety, your security as well. So if all those things have been weighing on you, you need to reconnect to that. And I hope that this is the message that you need to hear right now, and know that this new moon energy is the start of a new cycle. So I truly believe that you are going to go through this month taking stock of everything and almost like, really planning, not planning so much, but what do you want your future to look like? Write it down, make a list, draw a picture, paint a picture, whatever your creative process is, to really visualize what your future looks like, what it feels like to be safe and secure emotionally, financially, in your relationship, in your career, spiritually, all of it. And know that you can manifest that. Whatever that ideal vision looks like, it can be yours. And I'm going to leave it at that. I think that kind of wraps it up. I hope something in here resonated for you. If it did, please give me a like, a share, a subscribe, the things that help the channel. And remember, this is a general reading. So if you want to go deeper and you want to know how these energies are affecting you specifically, you can book a reading with me. My link is down below. And thank you so much for being here with me this month. I'm sending you all the light, all the love, all the blessings, and I'll see you in the next one.